Secretary LaHood, promoting and educating about bike, walk, rideshare, telework, public transit. These are sometimes low to no cost initiatives that are key to strengthening our transportation network. We like to think of ourselves as a pretty advanced country, so why isn't there perhaps more focus or attention given to these options on both the national all the way to local?
Some of these initiatives really have to begin at the national level, and that's what we tried to do during the 4.5 years that we were at the Department of Transportation. Some will bubble up from the communities, particularly walking and biking paths. These are opportunities that people take their own initiative on. For example, in my home state of Illinois, there's a lot of rails to trails where they've taken old railroad tracks and turned them into walking and biking paths. When it comes to bike share and programs like that's an initiative that we really have driven in a lot of communities by providing the resources. Some of these programs can be a little costly for the upfront cost, but there are a lot of, earlier this year, while I was still in this DOT job as secretary, I declared that, this is the year of bike share, and it really is. They inaugurated one in Chicago. They inaugurated one in New York, and Arlington, where we're at now, has a great program. So it comes from both ways, and where the resources are needed, sometimes it's been driven from the top. Where it's more of an initiative where it's sort of a low-cost item, a lot has come from the communities. Between the two, a lot of communities now are really developing the kind of opportunities for people. So if you don't want to own a car and you want to live in a community, you can walk to work, you can bike to work, you can bike on the weekends, you can walk your kids to school. We had a lot of initiatives for safe routes to school so that children didn't have to take a school bus, but there were safe routes for them to walk on. All of these are ways to attract people to live in the communities.
Well, now that you're a private citizen, why are you still carrying the passion that you clearly still have, and what do you hope will be your transportation legacy?
Well, I think the transportation legacy will be part safety, a lot of our safety initiatives. 4.5 years ago, no one in America was talking about distracted driving. When we started the campaign, only 18 states had passed laws. As we walk out the door on this job, 41 states have passed laws. Now distracted driving is something that people know about and think about, and realize how dangerous it is to text and drive and to use a cell phone and drive. And so I'm very proud of that, but I'm proud of a lot of the other safety initiatives, whether it's in the airline industry, in the rail industry, so that'll be part of it. The other part of it will be the idea that communities all over America are looking for transportation options. People are tired of being in congestion. People are tired of being behind the wheel of a car, and they want options. They want ways to walk their children to school. They want to be able to walk to work. And if communities like the metropolitan areas around the country are going to be able to attract young people, they have to have a bike share program. They have to have walking and biking paths. They have to have ways for people to get around the community without perhaps owning an automobile, which in some instances can be very expensive.
You talk about communities all over the country, and it sounds like, sure, a lot of communities are doing these kinds of things. Perhaps part one of the question is, are there enough communities doing these types of things? And perhaps looking back more at the mobility labs of the world, at the Arlington counties of the world, at the DCs of the world, and the federal government as well, how do we build more of a public large tent coalition around making transportation options more relevant to the public and policymakers?
I think really doing what we're doing here, emphasizing the importance of the mobility lab, taking this lab and putting it in a place someplace else in the country where you bring everybody together, the business community, the education community, the community of people who are interested in having safe routes to school, or interested in just having an ability to walk to a store or walk to their doctor's appointment. Bringing all these people together around the idea, there have to be alternatives for people to get out of their cars, to get out of congestion, and to have the kind of transportation alternatives and amenities. Sometimes it'll be a streetcar. Sometimes it'll be bus rapid transit. Sometimes it'll be a walking and biking path. Sometimes it'll be a safe routes to school. But providing all of the alternatives to people. So what I say, and the reason I'm so excited about what Mobility Lab has done, is to take this lab, which is a laboratory of all kinds of different forms of transportation, out into the country and say, look what's going on in Arlington County. Look what they've been able to do. Look at the alternatives that they've been able to provide. This can be done in any community.
Thank you, Secretary.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.